Hi, my name's Ian and this is the RØDE Procaster dynamic microphone. It's a great mic for vocal recording. The Procaster is literally built like a brick. It's a dynamic mic with a cardioid polar pattern. Although it kind of resembles a studio condenser, it's an end address, and that means the capsule is spoken into from the top, and it's set in its own shock absorption mount inside. It's tough and heavy with a thick metal body and weighs in at around 1.5 pounds. So you need a good solid stand in order to hold all that weight. Its frequency range goes from 75 Hz to 18 kHz, so it has an inbuilt high-pass filter effect in the way that it sounds. It's tailored for the voice with a slight mid-bass boost and a presence boost in the top end. Output impedance is 320 ohms and sensitivity is -56 dB, which means that it does need quite a lot to drive it properly. It comes with a ring mount stand clip and a bag to hold it in. You do need to be careful using the clip stand because it holds the mic at the very bottom, and the full weight of the mic itself makes it quite easy to topple. It comes with a warranty of 1 year with a free extension to 10 years following registration on the RØDE website, where you need to provide proof of purchase, although I can't really see this breaking too easily given the way that it's built, to be honest. Dynamic mics themselves are inherently very quiet and don't produce a lot of noise, but if you have to work with your preamp close to the top of its range, you will introduce noise from the preamp, not the microphone. Since dynamics aren't as sensitive as studio condensers, some people use them holding the mic extremely close like this and tend to almost shout into them in order to raise the gain at the recording end. The effect of this can be an overpowering bass response, which can be useful perhaps in radio broadcast for that fat type of sound, but for clean voice production on video it mightn't be so desirable. I don't really understand why RØDE suggests holding the mic no more than 2 inches from the mouth, because that can cause the very same thing, and for me personally, for my voice, I prefer to have the microphone just a little bit further away, and that takes that bass away a bit and gives you a more natural sound. To get around this, a fairly good preamp is needed in order to raise the gain just slightly so that you can get the mic a little further away from your mouth. The advantages of doing this are the fact that you get less overpowering bass, and plosives are then minimised. I'll try that again. And plosives are then minimised. And plosives are then minimised. Another get-around for the problem of preamp noise is to add phantom power and use a device like a Triton Fethead or a cloud lifter to boost the output of the mic, so that the gain of your preamp is lowered massively, resulting in lower noise levels. I found that using a Fethead gives me a lot of gain, allowing me to use even just a Saramonic battery-operated preamp to power it if I want, or if I'm at home, a standard desktop preamp. The Saramonic allows me to use the Procaster in mobile situations and gives me a lot of gain when I'm out and about. If you use a recorder like the Zoom H4n, then that already has 48 volt phantom power available straight from the unit for the Fethead. The H4 is quiet anyway, and having that gain set even lower makes it even quieter. This is the Procaster being used in the way that RØDE suggests, no more than 2 inches from the mouth. This is the Procaster being used a little further back, about 9 inches or so. So for me, with the Procaster about 6 to 9 inches away from my mouth, as you can probably hear, the sound is balanced and noise is at a minimum. We'll have a listen for the noise, but I think my house is quite noisy, so we'll have a listen. I'm getting clocks and hums. Can you hear that? Many people would go directly for a studio condenser mic in order to record voiceover for their films, but using a dynamic does have some advantages in a home situation where you've got an awful lot more noise, and also because the room's not treated, you're not going to pick up so much of the room sound as perhaps a condenser would. So sometimes a dynamic can be a bit more useful, especially in the home. With a dynamic, you don't have as much of a problem with room acoustics. They're also mostly tailored to vocal pickup and the capsule is shielded from the body. They also withstand much rougher treatment without self-destructing, allowing you to handhold the mic in mobile situations since they don't need power to run. In a noisier environment, you don't have to worry so much about preamp noise since it wouldn't be heard, and dynamic mics do reject external sounds pretty well. The Procaster is currently being sold at £129 on Amazon, and it makes a really good choice for people wanting a clean but a robust audio for their filmmaking or voiceovers, especially for people when they don't have studios in their home and they've got rooms that are not treated. These types of microphones are fantastic for that. Cheers for now.
I've had and recommended my RØDE Procaster microphone for quite a while now, but I've never actually reviewed it. In fact, the only unboxing footage of this mic that I have is a low-quality live stream footage from the summer of 2014, and I unboxed it midstream. This mic has come a long way with me, and it's time to finally give it a formal review. Let's go. Generally priced at about $230 retail, the RØDE Procaster Broadcast Dynamic Vocal Microphone is a treat. Priced competitively below Electro Voice's RE320 and RE20 microphones, this microphone aims to provide low-noise broadcast quality sound in a similar no compromises package. It just about gets there, too. Weighing about 1.63 pounds, this dark gray cylindrical mic will put some weight on your mic stand. With the shock mount and windscreen that I have for it, it is by far the heaviest mic that I've used, with the RE20 from Electro Voice coming up close by. As a front address microphone, it features some of the light gray grilling around the mic capsule, but that grill doesn't extend anywhere near as far down the microphone sides as the Electro Voice counterparts. The mic is about 8.4 inches long and a little over 2 inches in diameter. It features an XLR connection on the rear with a threaded mount screw on the XLR connection shell. Inside the box you get the microphone, the ring mount microphone stand for that threaded end, and a padded zip pouch. The zip pouch is nice, and that's standard for most RØDE mics, but it's nothing compared to the Electro Voice's padded case. I purchased mine with a shock mount and a foam windscreen. I'll touch on the windscreen in a second, but the shock mount ensures that none of my heavy, aggressive typing that shakes my entire desk will end up causing shake noise within the microphone. Some say this isn't necessary, but I definitely don't have that noise in my mic, so it worked out for me. If XLR mics aren't your thing, RØDE also offers a lighter USB version called the RØDE Podcaster. Link to that will be in the description below as well. Inside, an internal pop filter helps minimize plosives and distortion, while the dynamic cardioid capsule aims to pick up detail in the voice while rejecting background noise. The internal pop filter does a decent job at preventing plosives, but the sound of air moving across the grill or mic capsule or something during breathing can be quite annoying during more intimate recordings. Thus, the windscreen I purchased is a lifesaver. The Procaster features a 75 through 18,000 Hz frequency response with an output impedance of 320 ohms. So, how does it sound? Well, it sounds pretty freaking good. I was originally nervous about throwing this much money at a microphone, especially knowing that a dynamic microphone typically wouldn't have the kind of bass response that my AT2020 condenser microphone would have, but I was immediately quite impressed. Through a raw recording, the Procaster picks up quite a hefty amount of low end and mid-low end, which works very, very well with my voice. This sounds great, and with the benefit of eliminating background noise, this mic is one hell of a deal. However, the extra oomph on the low end seems to come at the sacrifice of a detailed high range. This especially comes out once I run the audio through post-processing. There's quite a lot of oomph to the sound, but not the same kind of punchy sound that the RE320 or RE20 makes, both of which keep a lot more detail on the high end of things. It definitely doesn't get muddy, not at all. It's just clear that the low end can kind of overpower the other rest of the audio range, and it lacks some of that bright crunchiness that other mics can offer. Don't get me wrong, it still sounds great. If you can't justify making the $70 jump to the RE320 or the couple $100 extra jump to the RE20, I definitely recommend someone go with this mic over a normal condenser microphone, especially for YouTube podcasting, live streaming, that kind of thing. Here's an audio sample for you, and you can listen to more, as well as samples from other mics I've reviewed on my SoundCloud. A link in the description below.
This is a microphone test using the RØDE Procaster dynamic microphone. This is a test. I will play both the unedited and the processed versions. This is a normal microphone test. My name is Adam Reeples Vox. W98.9 WAMZ. Ladies and gentlemen, fatality. This is a microphone test using the RØDE Procaster dynamic microphone. This is a test. I will play both the unedited and the processed versions. This is a normal microphone test. My name is Adam Reeples Vox. W98.9 WAMZ. Ladies and gentlemen, fatality.
Another thing to note, though, is that this microphone isn't very hot. It requires a very strong preamp to drive. This is what drove my purchase for the Cloudlifter CL1 preamp in the first place, as I essentially needed more gain than the preamp in my Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 interface could provide. With the CL1 inline, the Procaster signal starts to kick up a lot better. This is important, because if you take the approach that I did initially of just dealing with a quieter signal and amplifying it in post-processing, you're in for an unexpected noise floor. Through clean preamping, it's great. There's not much background noise pickup at all. But if you don't have it preamped cleanly or just preamped enough before processing, you're in for a noise floor to remove and potential hissing within the audio itself to clean out as well. Overall, this mic is pretty baller, and it has served me very, very, very well over the past year and a half, 2 years or so of live streaming and desktop video capture. Coming in at not much more expensive than the popular Blue Yeti Pro, this one definitely gets a recommendation from me.
Costing. So this is more about thinking what your needs are. If you're doing for podcasting, I would recommend something else that's brighter, but I also have a strong voice. So if you need that boost, then it works well for you. But if you have a good voice and for voiceover work, it's good for voiceover. I was actually able to get it for half price, so it was a great deal, and it's worth it even out of its regular price. Just really consider what you plan on using it for. If you are going to be doing podcasting, you can 2 microphones. You could use this for voiceover, but I would recommend something else that adds more brightness. Even the pod mic, even the RE320 is pretty good, but I like this as just straightforward. For me, I don't even need a pop filter with it. It gets the job done. And again, I use it also for e-learning. So that's my review. That's why I give it 5 stars. It's what I expected. Just plan on thinking about, it's not the only mic you should have, but for something with a presence, it's definitely a really good solid mic to have. Hope this is helpful.
सुंदर माइक। और हमारा शुरू होता है पॉडकास्ट। आगे आप देखेंगे कि कैसे पॉडकास्ट बनाया जाता है और सुंदर पॉडकास्ट जरूर सुनिए।